Hello. uh, how is everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. I know this Q&A stream is very late, but I was like, no, I have to. I should. I need to be consistent. Cuz usually I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to stream like every day. And then I start like streaming and I'm like one a week. But no. I'm trying to make sure that I'm consistent. So yeah. But yeah, hopefully you all are doing well. Hopefully you're all having a good week for sure. I went to like the movie theater earlier. I should probably get like some water because actually yeah, I'll just like do that right now. I feel like every single time I like go to a movie, I eat like the popcorn and then that popcorn is so good at the movie theaters, but then you just have to like brush your teeth like right afterwards because then your throat feels gross. But yeah. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. I need like. I literally just grabbed the smallest glass in my cabinet. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'll use this one. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a good day. Or a good morning. Or a good night. Or a good evening. I'm trying to remember all the all the times. What voices can I do? I can do a lot of voices. I think the ones that are oddly enough easiest for me to do is like semi sort of like lighter voices. Maybe smaller voices kind of fit into that category and then deeper voices. Cuz like if I want to talk like lighter cuz maybe I'm voicing like a younger character or something. It's really easy cuz all I have to do is just kind of like bring my voice a little bit into the back of my throat and with small voices, it's kind of like that, but I kind of feel it on like the roof of my mouth almost. Um, Except like little boy voices are kind of nasally for some reason, or they're kind of like raspy. But yeah, and then my like deep, intense voices, they're just like incredibly forward and like they kind of feel like a stuffy nose. But yeah, that's sort of the idea. Can I do a SpongeBob voice? That'd be fun. Name a car for an edit? Uh, like a brand? I don't know why I was just gonna be like truck. I love that part in Transformers when Optimus Prime says, I'm going to turn into a truck now. uh, oh, my glasses prescription is like thick. Like, okay, it's not super thick. I'm not like blind without my glasses. But I definitely have trouble seeing far away. But yeah. Hello to everyone who's just joining the stream. You're chill, I'll sub to your channel. Oh, thank you. I hope you enjoy the memes. But yeah, all voiced by yours truly. If the glasses break, do you have to call a windshield repair? I might as well. No, I just like freak out until I have to buy new glasses. Where like my glasses will break and I'll be like, no! But then I'll wear the same glasses for like 6 years and I'm like, okay, I need to get new glasses and stop being stubborn. Let's see. Let's see. Have you done something kind for yourself today on purpose? Um, yeah, you know what? I think I did. I I was like, I know this place doesn't serve like wings as its primary food. Like there's like Domino's, which is like a pizza place, but I feel like the wings there are really good. Maybe that's a like hot take. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get just wings from Domino's. Like no pizza, just wings. But yeah. Welcome everyone who's joining the stream. I'm Hispanic. This was answering a question in the comments. That's water. Oh my gosh. Batman versus Superman reference? I'm kidding. Okay, I saw that movie when I was like younger, and I think I mean, yeah, I didn't really have a perception of like what reviews were and everything back then. So I was just kind of like I thought it was like a fairly decent movie, but looking back, I'm like, I don't think there was enough Batman versus Superman in Batman versus Superman. But I don't know. I still there's some things I like about it, there's some things I don't. I like Man of Steel a lot, which also might be a hot take. Um but yeah. No, see? Right? They have good wings. Who would win Batman versus Okay, this is the problem though, I think with like I think hypothetically a movie like that could be well done. I mean, I think it was even I know this is Marvel, but I think it was Stan Lee at some point who said like if you want a certain character to win, you kind of like find a way to make that character win. When he was talking about just like writing like superheroes like fighting each other and whatnot. I just think that Superman is like incredibly strong, and I think Batman's very clever, but they probably just should have played a little more on some of that in the movie. But yeah. Oh, thank you. Have a good night too. Oh, thanks. Yeah, these PJs are cool, right? They got like every type of coffee and like pies and I think like cupcakes and cookies. I should see how many desserts I can find on the pajamas. But yeah, welcome all of you who just entered the stream. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind. I'm so sorry. I always thought DC had better villains and Marvel had better superheroes. I think that's a fair assessment for sure. I guess it depends though, because I think like for some reason a lot of the villains in like Batman are pretty iconic. I think with Superman, I only really remember like Lex Luthor, and yeah, I forget some of the other ones. Wow, so much support for like the pajamas. I love it. You don't remember Doomsday from Superman? Not in any of the cartoons I watched. I remember Doomsday and Batman versus Superman. Um, I don't know if that was the most accurate rendition, but I did think that was pretty cool to see in theaters when I was a kid. But yeah. Who would win, Terminator versus E.T.? I don't know. E.T.'s got that vibe. There's something about his eyes, like he seems like friendly, but I bet it just takes one like John Wick arc and he's like soloing everyone in every movie. Thoughts on Terminator 2? Okay, so that's the best one I hear, and that's the one I haven't seen. Actually, I think the only Terminator movies I've seen is Terminator Salvation and the first one. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I need to watch Terminator 2. Are you gonna draw? Unfortunately, this isn't a drawing stream today, but I'll draw. I'll do a drawing stream soon. Do you watch anime? Yes, I do watch anime. I feel like I say this a lot on my streams every time I get this comment, but I like sharing my favorite animes. My favorite is either Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. And I I'm so sorry if I'm missing like half your comments. And like yeah, I think that well some of my other favorites, I like Violet Evergarden. I like well a lot of people like Attack on Titan, but that's just like an incredibly well-written story. Code Geass is pretty good. I like well you probably know this from the poster. I like ReZero a lot. I think that's a very honestly, I think I don't really know a whole lot about like Dark Souls because I need to play more Dark Souls. I've only really played like Armored Core and a little bit of Dark Souls 3. But I imagine if Dark Souls was going to be like successfully made into like a show or a movie or an anime, it would kind of have to be like ReZero where you go along in the story and you like find like I feel like it's really interesting how Subaru kind of like finds out information through every route, and what initially seems like an insignificant comment then becomes a bigger thing later. Like when Rem's like, "Oh, we can't go on the road because of the like whale," and you just kind of like forget about it, but then he takes a route where they go like earlier, and then they run into the whale, and that's like I think I like that kind of writing. How do we get into voice acting? Uh, well, let's see. I think just practicing like studying like performances you like in certain voice actors and then practicing like recording, just saying like basic lines and choosing like sort of archetypes to think of when you're voice acting, like the hero, the antagonist, like younger characters, older characters. And then from there, there's like Casting Call Club, which you can just like audition on. There's Twitter has a lot of casting calls. Have you ever watched Diabolic Lovers? Oh, I have, and I wish I didn't. That I have watched Your Name. I love Your Name. But yes, I've watched that one, and I I despise it for so many reasons. One of them being I'm a firm believer in healthy relationships, which were just non-existent in that show. Frieren is great. I love Frieren. But yeah, I'm so sorry, everyone. There's so many comments. I'm trying to keep up with all of them. in ReZero, there's this like whale called uh the white whale that's like a, what do they call them? Maw beast. That's created by one of the witches. Uh are you a fan of webtoons? I like the idea of, I like that everyone can share their artwork and their stories. I wish sometimes that people weren't in as much of a rush to like get their stories out, because I feel like with more time, their stories could be like really amazing. Because I think sometimes that's the hardest part about writing, just like rewriting, and sometimes we don't like rewriting. So I think if sometimes people focused on webtoon just less about like the time frame of when you should get a chapter out, and just kind of like focusing on what you want for your story, and being more particular about that. I think that's one thing I would improve, but all around I like seeing people's art styles. Vinland Saga is super good. That's my sound panel behind me for voice acting. So things echo less. Have you ever played Sonic the Hedgehog? Only a little bit. I should probably do that more. Let's see. R2D2 versus Megan. Oh gosh, these comments. Probably R2D2. He's a little kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of very, what's the word? Unintentionally menacing sometimes. This is a Persona 5 poster behind me. Let's see. As a writer, I hate rewriting until someone points out a serious error or need for rework, then I need to rewrite it. Oh yeah, for sure. Like sometimes it's funny because like my brothers will kind of like jokingly roast my writing sometimes, but then I actually think it's like unintentionally it's very helpful, because then I start to notice stuff in my writing where I'm like, okay, in my head this sounded cool, but when someone reads it out loud it sounds like a little less cool. So I'm glad about that and I need to fix that. But yeah. Favorite bands. Um okay, I like Starset. That's, yeah, that's one. I think, I guess it depends, cuz like if we're, yeah, if we're talking about like rock bands, I think Starset's one of my favorites. I mostly find myself into a lot of composers for soundtracks, in particular like anime, so like I always kind of hype up. Like, I love, like, Yuki Kajiura, who wrote the music. Well, she writes the music for a lot of fantasy anime, like Fate Zero and Sword Art Online and Madoka Magica. And Hiroyuki Sawano is another one of my favorites, where he wrote the soundtrack for Attack on Titan and Solo Leveling and lots of other shows. But yeah. But yeah, I actually don't know if I've listened to a whole lot of like what technically qualifies as metal, because Starset I think of is like kind of like hard rock mixed with like techno. Thank you to whoever's sending the gifts. Let's see. Yes, I do voice acting. I'm in my early 20s. But yeah. Um yeah. I think like I've seen people perform more like metal slash screamo. because one of my friends is in a rock band, so occasionally I've like gone with them to like rock venues and just seen like people's different bands and different styles of music, which is fun. It's very fun. What shows? It's kind of just like, oh, I haven't seen Starset perform live yet. That's one of my hopes one day that I can see that. As far as rock venues, it's a lot of like individual kind of bands, like nothing like really like big industry. Because, well, probably because a lot of those are kind of like pricey for me, so I need to save up if I really want to see like a band someday that's like more well known. But there's something cool about seeing people who are just like lesser known or only known within like specific circles of like rock music and everything, because that's just not quite like a world that I necessarily grew up in. But then having my friends who know about that, it's just kind of cool like hearing them talk about it and like seeing all of that being performed. But yeah, who's your favorite actress? Let's see. Oh wait, did you recommend a band to me? I might have missed a comment that recommended a band to me. Um, would I mind talking about my settings and my recording softwares and compression, EQ, etc.? Um, oh yeah. So I think an XLR mic is a really good microphone to get, which I think is Audio Technica, and then a Scarlett Solo audio interface. As far as my editing, my boyfriend has taught me, so it's not like editing my voice, it's just kind of like cleaning up the audio, cleaning up like any background noise. My boyfriend has taught me a lot about that, which is very nice. I think, I mean, I'm kind of basic. I'll just like record the lines, and then if it's short enough, I'll try and clean up the audio within like every 3 lines. But if it's like longer, I'll try and just like clean up all the audio at the very end and then like listen to it and see if I missed anything. Um, and yeah, so basically, you just kind of, I like to record just like kind of like silence, like no talking for like 10 seconds. And then I'll take that and use it as a reference for the noise reduction for the background noise. And then for compression, I'm trying to think of, because I do need to be specific with this. I definitely compress the audio and then normalize it. I want to say that, what is the compression set at on my computer? I want to say like negative 24, but I also don't want to. I mean, I guess you can experiment and see if that works for if you're like recording anything. But yeah. And then I wish I knew more about kind of like equalizing audio, but I'm not very good at that. I should probably learn that for sure. Let's see. What do I have going on in my mind? Well, I'm excited because my boyfriend, who's also a voice actor and an editor for my channel, is visiting tomorrow, and I'm excited. Let's see. I don't know who that is, but I'm sorry because like I asked, and then I was like, "Who's that?" I have never been to Morocco. I'm actually kind of like boring. I've never been outside of the country. And I've only been to a couple of states, really. Um, but yeah. The coffee blanket. Oh, this is this is a like pajama shirt, but thank you. Um, but yeah. I mean, I live in the USA, so but yeah, I've never been to Morocco. So yeah, I'd be curious to learn more. Do you like pyramids and aliens? That's not in Morocco. Um I mean, when I was younger, I'd watch like National Geographic stuff on that. Um, my roommate, one of my roommates, um, she's quite scared of like mummies and whatnot. Um, and yeah, teach you history. I wish I knew enough about history to teach it. Um, it's actually funny because I do think though, when I was like growing up, I was probably mostly interested, even compared to medieval history. I think learning medieval history was like cool, but I think I was more interested in remember more stuff in regards to like ancient history with like Mesopotamian history and like Roman history and Greek history, um, and ancient Egyptian history. But I'm no expert for sure. But yeah. Someone's recommending Bring Me the Horizon a couple times in my. I'll check it out. Let's see. Which state do you live in? I live in Colorado, which is funny because it's way too cold um for me. How are things? Things are going well. Yes. Tell you about Mesopotamia. Yeah, I just talked about how I was like, the ancient history was my favorite history, and then now we're gonna see how much I actually remember. Um, oh, I remember that they invented, I think cuneiform was the first written language ever to exist that was invented by Mesopotamia. It's really interesting. It looks like a lot of, uh, like triangles with lines. Um, that's one thing I remember and whatnot. But yeah. Does Florida rain frogs? I don't know. I've never been there. I'd have to ask one of my friends who lives there. Everyone's asking me like if I've been to like a place and I'm like, does does 3 blocks away from my house count? Let's see. Oh yeah, there's the is it the Epic of Gilgamesh? I need to revisit probably some of that because now since I like Fate a lot, I'm like, okay, how much knowledge do I actually remember from like history? And then how much do is that like mixed up with just how much I like Fate? And it's probably it's yeah. I need a in general, I need to read more. I've been trying to get back into reading and writing more. Um, hello to any of you just joining the stream. I remember when I was like younger and in middle school, we were going through like the section of like ancient Egypt and everything. And our teacher wrote something on like the whiteboard, um, essentially being like it was in hieroglyphics, and then she's like, "Can anyone read this?" and everything. And me, who had read like the like Egyptology book when I was younger, I was like, I can translate this. And it only got like two words right, but I was pretty proud of myself. I thought it was pretty cool for that. um, what do you do for a living besides YouTube? I'm a part-time music teacher. Yeah. Or technically full-time, I guess. I don't know what you define as like full-time or part-time. Um, yeah, I am yeah, I teach music. I teach violin, that's my first instrument, singing, piano, guitar, um, and ukulele. But yeah. What media do you think helped shape your sense of humor? Ooh, I think it's people sometimes, and I think that honestly, even in voice acting, I think some voice actors just get this really like these really chaotic vibes down that are just like really funny to me in how they deliver lines. But I think a lot about my sense of humor, and I'm like, I think it's like kind of similar to like the sense of humor of like my brothers a bit. And then just being like kind of silly and random. I like stuff like that. But yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any particular comedic shows I like. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm so like boring though because I don't know if I actually like a whole lot of comedies or comedies that are just comedies. Well, no, there's some comedic animes I've enjoyed. I'm trying to think of some. I definitely like the ones that are like kind of chaotic. But yeah. When I was younger, this is water. When I was younger, I watched Konosuba, which is still like pretty funny at some points, but has its flaws. As many isekais do. But I do think that some of the like, well, again, I think the voice acting is just like really good and really funny, especially from like Faye Mata and Christina V, which I got to like meet her once, which was really nice. I think my favorite characters though that Christina V has played is probably Sakura from Fate, and I think Homura Akemi from Madoka Magica. I think she just has a way of like voice acting for them where it's like it just has this very like genuine kind of like tragicness to it that I appreciate. But yeah. It's because we use some of the jars we have as like cups. I like it's cuz I had to they're like taller cups are drying. Um I've done voiceovers in radio. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I've always thought about like doing that potentially someday, but I think I need to build a commercial demo reel. Have you been to the city in Colorado that South Park took place? I've actually passed through there. I think calling it a city is generous. It's very, maybe it's because we just like didn't stop anywhere in that area, but it's very remote kind of. But yeah, unless I'm just remembering the wrong place. What's your message to new viewers? Some of us are new here. Um, my name is Noelle Pennison, aka Elion Pastel. I'm a voice actress. I make silly memes, but I also voice in cool projects. So feel free to check that out. Homera is my favorite Shakespearean tragedy character. Madoka Magica is a very, I think, I mean, yeah, it is very tragic. It's very, I think it's like, if there's like Chainsaw Man, which is like, it's so like sad too, but if there's like Chainsaw Man, which is what a lot of men seem to relate to in just like how they were feeling when they were younger, some of like the experiences they've gone through. I think like Madoka Magica, within the psychological aspect, I think that's how myself and a lot of other women I've known, like, that's kind of how you feel or have felt when you're in middle school, or even early high school. And yeah, it's very tragic, but in a way, I think it's also very important stories to tell. Um, do you like Tsukahime? I actually don't think I watched that one. What's your best voice you can do? My best voice? I think that would be like up to you guys. I think the best voice I can do is probably some of my smaller voices.
Especially when I talk like this. Just 'cause it sounds so different from my regular voice a lot of the time. I mean, it's like really different.
So that might be it. Maybe also some of my deep voices. Let's see. Do you have a website out there? I'm a artist and may need voicing at some point. What are your fees? Do you go over this on your site if you have one? Well, I actually don't have a site, but I think I recommend a lot of people to go to like my casting call club. I have a demo reel in my YouTube. That should be like kind of the first video you see on my channel. It's also on my casting call club, so if you're looking to look for someone to hire or someone to audition, yeah, just check out my casting call club. I think it should have on there my rate. But yeah. Thank you for considering me. Let's see. I don't think bullying is good for anyone. I think as a as a music teacher and someone who seeks to treat other people with kindness, I don't think I could endorse that. What characters do you think that voice fits best? Well, yeah, like definitely, probably just like younger characters and smaller characters a lot. Do you do any impersonations? I'm not very good at impersonations. Though every now and then I'll watch like an anime with Juan. He'll be like, "That sounds like you." I've heard a lot of people think I sound like Haruhi from Urin High School Host Club. But yeah. What did you eat for dinner? chicken wings from Domino's. Sing a random song, whatever pops into your head. I gotta think of a song that pops into my head that's not copyrighted. Let's see. I'm just thinking of solfege. I'm just thinking of like do, re. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I'm also just kind of thinking of like any vocal warm-ups I've ever taught. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. What's like some of the other ones there's like the oohs. I like doing those ones. Ooh, ooh. But yeah. Let's see. I'm being judged for ordering the chicken wings at Domino's. Who inspired you to go into voicing characters? Did it start from early childhood or recent? I think I kind of got a sense of, I didn't really know what voice acting was at the time, but I remember I was into the game for a time, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I thought the dude who was voicing Adam Jensen, I was like, oh, this dude has like such a cool voice. But then I just didn't really know that was like a career that you could have necessarily. But then when I got into maybe my second to last year of high school, I just kind of started watching more anime because I had like a little more time to do that. And I really liked the art style, but I was like, I want to see like some shows. And then I got a lot into anime. But yeah, my first technically anime was Violet Evergarden. Or no, that is in anime. I don't know why I say like technically. And then sometime later I watched Attack on Titan, and I remember just thinking Matthew Mercer as Levi Ackerman really like stuck with me, and I kind of remember just like looking into that and him as like a voice actor. And I was like, "Oh, this is like an actual like career, and it's so cool." And that's great because I want to do acting, but I guess I kind of always was like a little bit like with theater and film acting, just a part of it is dependent on like if you look like the character that the director envisions. With voice acting, I like it because it is really a lot more just based on like what you're capable of doing, how hard you work, and I really like that. But yeah. What's my favorite thing to do as a young adult? I mean, I feel like it's probably been the same my whole life. Well, I want to say drawing, but then there's like some days where I'm just like drawing, and then my boyfriend's like, "How's the drawing going?" I've been drawing for like 9 hours straight, and I'm like, "Don't talk to me," because I get so like focused on it. So I want to say drawing, but maybe that's. I feel like everyone who draws has a bit of like a sort of love hate relationship with drawing, but mostly love. Uh, I like singing a lot. Yeah, I like singing. Um, her poor boyfriend. No, for real. He's very loving and sweet. I'm okay with. Oh, Juan. That's very. This is my boyfriend, by the way, Juan. That's very sweet, my love. But I shouldn't. I shouldn't be that intense when I draw. Do you have any of your drawings to share with the chat? I can show you guys one that I drew recently. Because, yeah, as I stated, I like ReZero a lot. And so recently I got a little bit back into drawing on paper instead of just digital. And so this is my Amelia drawing from ReZero. Obviously in the mint green kind of outfit because I like the like pigtails. I think it looks fun. Ryuko has entered the chat. Hello. And then recently I painted this dragon looking at like a bird in a tree. Just because I thought it'd be cool. But yeah, so that is my life. Okay. Let's see. Have I researched famous voice actors in early cartoons? I actually have like looked into a little bit like I think yeah, just some of how like people would voice act in early cartoons. But it's interesting because it seems to actually come from a little bit of like experience within like theater for a lot of people, depending on how far back you go. So sometimes they have this kind of like drawl to their voice, but it's also associated as well with being like that because of the transatlantic accent. But yeah. Casual artists love drawing. It takes a real master to hate it. I mean, I don't think art needs to be self destructive, but I do think it's like, I think with a passion for it comes the frustration when you notice like what you're lacking. But yeah. Well, thank you for the art compliments. Happy birthday to Ryuko in the chat. Oh gosh. This is what I'm talking about. I think the movie theater popcorn made me feel just like very full today. But yeah. Hello to any of you just joining the stream. Me and my boyfriend don't really, well, we travel to visit each other because I live in Colorado and he lives in California. I know that I've traveled more than him, but I think we kind of like, sort of, I like exploring sometimes, or maybe going like hiking. I just think that sometimes to enjoy going to specific like state or city or country, you kind of have to like research a little bit to like find things that would be like intriguing to you. That's just my perception. But yeah. Are you a teacher assistant? No, but I am a music teacher. But at like a like private lessons music teacher. But yeah. Are there bears in Denver? I think I've actually seen in okay. I've I've only seen in my whole life one bear in person. I was not super close to it. Would not recommend that. But yeah, it was yeah. I think that I know a lot of other people who have seen like bears. Denver is more city-ish, but I guess it depends where you go. So I don't know how many bears are like typically there. Yes, I'm a music teacher. Let's see. So you've seen barely any? What a perfect comment. I mean, I have an electric guitar. Um, I don't know if I play like a lot of rock music on it, but it's very like 2010s kind of rock. I don't think I know enough metal. I don't think I have the skill yet to play anything super hardcore. Although I've of the songs I'm trying to learn currently on any instrument, I'm trying to get better at drums. I'm trying to work on just more complex strumming patterns for guitar. And then on piano, I decided I kind of want to learn a song from the anime Erased, because that's an anime that's very, I think it's very like just well written, very tragic too at some points. Um, and but the music is beautiful. Also written by Yuki Kajiura, and yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I think like a lot of in general, I mostly like rock and soundtrack music and electronic music. But yeah. No, yeah, with drums, well, what I do sometimes is like I'll try and figure out by listening how drums are being used in like certain songs. Um, and then also sometimes trying to come up with drumming for like electronic songs. Um, but yeah, let's see. Are you on LinkedIn? I think I am, but I don't use it as often as I should. Um, but yeah, I should definitely use it more. How long have you been teaching music? Um, let's see. I think it's been 3 years now. It's gonna be 4 next year, I think. But yeah. I think that's like, I don't know, I kind of appreciate it though, because it's like I feel like the more I teach, the better I get at teaching, and then the more I play music, the better I get at music. And it's very, I think it's, I don't know, it's interesting because I think once I just kind of learned within teaching, having the mindset of being like, oh, you'll like get this eventually if you just like try to be consistent and keep practicing. That kind of made me able to just be less down on myself if like I can't do something right away. Um I've been working a lot on like belting, and yeah, I think belting's very difficult, but I'm hoping to get better at it. Can you subscribe? I mean, I don't think anyone's going to stop you. Let's see. Um yeah. Just be nice to everyone in the comments. But yeah. Let's see. I mean, yeah, luckily that's not hopefully that's not like implemented in like teaching anymore. I okay, I really don't I think like the movie Whiplash is a very interesting movie to watch, but then I like just thinking about it, I'm like I would never teach like this in a million years. Like I don't know. Like you that was is just a wild movie, but yeah, I would not I'm like I don't know. Like I've that's yeah. I don't like the idea of like you have to like be super heavily critical and treat people poorly in teaching. I'm like that's not teaching because that's going to like I mean you can be like critical in a constructive way, but telling them that like you're not good enough or you're like a failure or something, that's going to like put people down. Um but yeah. What's your channel about? I voice act on my channel, and on my channel is me just voice acting silly memes that I make. But then I also have a playlist of projects I'm in, so that's kind of fun. But yeah, if you find weird comments, just block them. I try to. Sometimes I'm not very good at like catching some of the comments on time. Um, but yeah, because I want the comments to be like a like fun place for you guys. Let's see. My talent is speaking and singing with truth. That's high praise. I hope so. Um I yeah, I want to be like a kind person and a kind teacher and a helpful um and a helpful person and a helpful teacher and I just don't think that I don't know. Like I think being encouraging to someone produces better results in helping them get better at what they're doing as opposed to putting them down. Um, but yeah. Do you like instrumental music? I do like instrumental music, um, especially like soundtrack music. But yeah. Okay, recently I listened to the soundtrack for Gachi Akuta. I really like it. And then I was like, why do I like this soundtrack so much? And then I was like, oh, it's the same composer who did the music for Akame ga Kill, and I also like that soundtrack a lot. Um, but yeah. Oh, you just sent 25? Well, thank you. $25. Thank you. How's living in Colorado? Is it cold now? Now, currently with the weather, it's like in the season, it's cold at nighttime. The day is like a little, it's all right. But yeah. You look like you should be in the cast for SNL for some reason. I feel like I've heard that from someone before. Um, do you like punk rock? Okay, I feel like this is a reference to the new Superman. And I'm sorry, I still need to see that movie. But I'd say yes. Yes, I do. Let's see. Have I ever heard of someone who's vegan? Yes. I've I'm familiar with Oh my gosh. Everyone's just gonna start asking me like basic questions like, have you ever heard of cars? Have you ever heard of cats? Hi, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Oh, sorry, I totally missed your comment. I learned that Ryuko and my Bunny Girl Senpai are both voiced by Erica Mendez. Oh, really? That's awesome. I think I was most surprised to find out that she voices Ryuko Matoi in Kill la Kill and sorry, I totally blanked. MASH from Fate Grand Order. But yeah. Where are you? I'm here. In this moment, in this stream. You look like you have multiple imaginary friends. That's probably true. Was your favorite rock band? Well, earlier I said Starset, and I'd say that's still true. Do you have glasses? No, I don't. Sorry, that was mean. Are you familiar with dogs? No, what are those? I've never heard of them. It was actually kind of sweet once because the first official like voice lessons teacher I ever had, she had like a little Pomeranian, and the fur color of the Pomeranian was kind of similar to like my hair color. And then she's like, "Oh, you two match." Every time I'd like learn. And yeah, which I thought was very funny and very sweet. Where'd you get the pajamas? My roommate gave them to me because she said it wasn't like quite her style. But she thought it was my style, in which she was correct. But yeah. Once again, everyone's just gonna say I look like Velma in the comments. I'm sorry, I'm missing so many comments. Let's see. I haven't heard Starset in a long time, but I listened to them back when they first started making music, and yeah, I think it was 2013, maybe 15. But yeah. Can I get a pen and paper for a contact in the animation industry? Okay, I'll write it down. I mean, if you want, you can just like message my Discord if you want, because, or actually, probably my casting call club. Casting call club allows for messages. Just because I imagine that being more secure, but if you just want to like put that out there, I guess that's fine. Oh my, I recently got a little notebook from my roommate. Yeah, let me just grab. Oh, I don't have a pen. Or do I? I'll find one. Hello to any of you just joining the stream. Favorite animation software? I feel like I'm only familiar with. That's not even animation software. What am I saying? Like, I was gonna say like Microsoft Paint, but that's not even. I don't know why I'm like this. Shout out to all the notebooks. They're too nice to write notes in. I used to like just get notebooks when I was younger and write like little like fictional stories in them. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see if I have just a pen somewhere. Let's see. I know, I have very thick eyebrows. It's true. It's a fact. Let's see if this pen works. Oh, it works. Okay, yeah. If you want to like put in the comments, I guess that's fine. But if you want to just like message my casting call club, that's fine. Maybe just give me a heads up of what your username is though or whatnot, so I'm not like, who's this random person? But yeah. Anything can be animation software if you try hard enough. Someone should test that out. Someone should like purposely try and find the least great software that's like not meant for animation, see what they can like make and how long it takes them. Also MS PowerPoint. Nice vampire teeth. I don't have, let's see. I don't know. I think my canine teeth are kind of tiny. Sometimes Juan's like the best boyfriend ever because like Juan kind of looks like a like handsome dude who would be like a vampire in like a like story, but then he's like really silly and sweet and very kind and loving, so it's like, oh nice, I get the handsome and edgy kind of looking boyfriend without the toxic relationship slash dynamic. Elion, have you heard of air? Yes. It's actually funny because since I do singing, I'm used to just like breathing more, like thinking like down with my diaphragm. And then once I went to the doctor and they're like, all right, breathe in. But because I was like mostly like here instead of like just moving my shoulders up everything and like sucking in my stomach, it it took me like a couple of tries because I was like, wait, I can't. That's not how they like do that at the doctor's office. I don't think these teeth are removable. Sing, please. Okay, I did sing. I remember I sang an opera song once on a stream. And I don't think it got flagged because opera's like fairly old. I wonder if I could sing. Does that make you the Bella Swan of the relationship? Oh my gosh. I mean, I hope I'm not that level of flawed. But did I get the info? I'll have to check later. Tell me really quick what you sent it to. But yeah. No, me and Juan have a very lovely and healthy relationship, and Juan's very sweet to me. Juan says, oh, okay, so I can sing a song. I kind of want to sing, what's your favorite drink on your sweater? I like to assume that this one is hot chocolate. I like hot chocolate a lot. I used to be a coffee person, but a little less now. Because caffeine kind of dries out my throat, which isn't super great for voice acting, or singing. But yeah, I like hot chocolate. So probably the hot chocolate. Okay. Yeah, I think one of the first songs I learned was from my voice teacher. My first voice teacher that I had was Homeward Bound, which I believe is it a British song? An Irish song during the early 1900s? I'll sing a little bit of it. It's probably going to be in the wrong key. I've gotten the lyrics mixed up. Um, yeah, that's what I remember. But yeah, Simon and Garfunkel did a song "Homeward Bound" different though. Oh man, I kind of want to listen to that version. You have a beautiful voice. Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. Yeah, followed followed by my roommate's cat meowing. She wanted to sing too. Sing again. Uh okay. I feel well that's more like my classical tone placement. Um let's see. Yeah, who knows if I'll get copyrighted for that song. I feel like it's old enough that I wouldn't. Um I remember singing is it said to mommy? That's like an Italian opera song, though my Italian pronunciations aren't very good. Um, I'll do a little bit of that one. The cat. Let's see. Sa tu mami, sa tu sospiri per me gentil pastor. O dolor de tue martiri, o diletto del tuo amor, Mose pensi che soltanto io ti debba amar. Pastorello, sei soggetto facilmente ad ingannar. Pastorello, sei soggetto facilmente ad ingannar. That's like all I remember. But yeah, it's just a singing stream now. Let's see. Oh, thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. But yeah, I I like singing. I like singing a lot. I think classical singing is also okay, it's really again, I always say this, but it really is. It's really good for your voice. But I love singing in like just classical styles. I think I didn't really appreciate that when I was younger. Well, because when you're younger, you just want to sing like pop and whatnot. Though when you learn like the proper technique, it's more fun to do that. But yeah, I like singing a lot of songs from like animes I like. I like one of my favorite like singers is definitely Enya. I think Enya has a beautiful voice, and I like singing a lot of Enya. But yeah. I thought you were the only silly meme voice acting lady. No, there's there's more. We like your crystal voice. Oh, thank you. I hope it's like, yeah, sometimes it's more like granite to the ears. It's like, huh, especially when I try to belt. Um I love Gregorian chants. Do you know Ave Maria? Only a little bit. I actually, I need to go back to this choir. I went to like a choir recently where they're teaching like Gregorian chants, which by the way, there's, okay, the sheet music was kind of like semi non existent. They just kind of had markings that represented like a certain way of singing. And like, I just remember looking at it and I was like, I don't know what this says. So, um, but yeah, it's very interesting. Music should either be depressing or angry. Happy music doesn't hit quite as hard. I think it's like I think it well, music is a lot of people expressing like their powerful emotions and whatnot. Um Hello Eldrick, welcome to the stream. This is one of my directors who I work for on an animation called Plague of Crowns, where I get to play Princess Merope, who's like super cool. You can find a video of it actually in my playlist called Projects I'm in. I think the video is called Merope versus the Locust. But yeah, I yeah. What was I saying? I can't remember. But yeah, what are these comments? Oh gosh. But like, yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was definitely talking about singing. Anyways, singing's good. I would recommend it. Actually, if you get into voice acting too, I think singing is also good. Just becoming familiar with your different like registers, that can be very helpful. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, of course. This is I'm just gonna like hype up Plague of Crowns for a second. This is probably one of my favorite projects I've like voice acted in so far. Just because I get to do a lot of like funny moments kind of, but also like cool moments. And like I get to do like battle screams, which is really fun. But yeah. What is this channel? Are you a musician? In my normal life, I'm a music teacher. In this channel, I am a voice actress. Though I hope to like put my music out here eventually. Yes, I was talking about the Gregorian chants, like weird ways of writing music and how it's just like not like sheet music and how I was like, I don't know what to do with this. But luckily, through being taught, I was like, okay, I'm a little more confident in this now. Do you like cupcakes or cookies on your sweater? Oh, I think I'd eat more of the cupcakes on my sweater than the cookies, because I do like chocolate chip, but it has to have a certain texture for me to appreciate it. Someone also said last stream I look like Scarlett Johansson, and I was like, I'm flattered, but also that is high praise. Is music really taught or a talent you grew up with? I did not grow up with like okay, here's the thing. Everyone who comes in to learn singing has like something they need to work on. Like I think what I had going for me was like my sister sang a lot more than I did growing up a little more professionally. So singing with her and then also just liking music and listening to it and playing violin, my sense of pitch was good, but I was not good at like supporting my voice with my like air initially and breathing from my diaphragm and then like understanding like my resonation until I did voice acting, and then that actually kind of helped. But I don't think I was born with like just an automatic skill for music. Maybe I was born with the patience for learning it, but not necessarily the skill. But yeah. Someone's asking me to to rap. I don't think I have any. I don't think that's okay. There's an example. I don't think that's a skill I have. I know the technical stuff behind some of it and I know how to teach it, but I don't think I was meant for that. uh, but yeah. But yeah. All in all, just learn singing, everyone. Just learn singing. Violin teacher? Yes, I do teach violin. Violin was my first instrument. Um, and currently I need to work on some of my bowing technique because I think for a while I got too comfortable with being like, "Ha, I can play everything by ear," and then neglected some of the more technical stuff. But yeah, currently on violin, I've been working on the song Time Flows Ever Onward from Frieren, and I've been working on the violin part of the level 1 symphonic suite in solo leveling. But yeah. Noelle can sing like Snow White, says Juan. Oh, that's very sweet. I'm very flattered. Well, that's like pretty, yeah, because it's kind of just like when I'm feeling out how, the same as when I do my like smaller voices, but just singing like that. Like, um, I need to choose a note to start on. That wasn't the best example. Something like that. But yeah. What's your favorite dinosaur? Spinosaurus is, for sure. I know that's kind of basic, but I think that's my favorite. They're cool. They're cool. Sorry for the project delay. Thanks for your patience since this is your Q&A. Yeah, no problem. Like, I mean, you're doing like a lot of work, so like obviously projects take time. Since this is your Q&A, how many instruments do you own? Instruments I own a violin, my voice, an acoustic guitar, and an electric guitar that is Jackson that my love Juan got me last Christmas. But yeah. Also, hi Juan. Yeah, Juan's in the chat. The goat of Jurassic Park 3. Oh, I think by far, I'm trying to think what was like the scariest dinosaur when I was a kid. I don't know if dinosaurs like scared me that much growing up. But in the Jurassic Park movies, they're kind of like, you thought dinosaurs were cool, now they're scary. Um, maybe, I mean, obviously there's like the T-Rex in the first one. And the fact that it's like an animatronic too, I'm like, or some of it's an animatronic in my head. I'm like, wow. If I was like in that movie, I think I would have actually just like cried half the time because I would have been like, I know it's not real, but it might be. Love your videos. Thank you. I thought you were a teacher that lived in her classroom. No. I I don't work at like a public school. I do like private lessons. Um I'm not sure what that means, but I'm just going to assume electric guitar is cool. But yeah. I think the first Jurassic World movie was like, I think the premise was kind of interesting. But I think it's also, I guess it's like, yeah. I know that I like the first Jurassic Park. That's like just, Well, it's hard to match because that's such an iconic movie for just like various reasons. Um, and I think it comes down to like intention, where everything about the music, the cinematography, even the type of like story that's being told, there's like a lot of intention. Let's see. Who would win? Captain Kirk versus Luke Skywalker. I mean, I think Captain Kirk has like perseverance, but Luke Skywalker has like literal like supernatural abilities. Um but yeah, that's what we're discussing to answer the other question. You play recorder. That's a real instrument. I don't think I can play recorder. Um Maybe I'll have to try that one day, but I think any instrument that's kind of like a like flute or like woodwinds or whatever, I'm just like, how does one do this? This seems incredibly difficult. Um but yeah. But yeah. Oh gosh, what time is it? You vote Luke? I mean, yeah, I think like nothing against like Captain Kirk. I just think that Luke would win. Probably a little. Well, that again, it comes down to the thing. It's like if someone wrote a story like that, who do they want to win? Because then they'd have to find a way to make that possible. What about the kazoo? I think anyone can play the kazoo. I really like, I don't know why, I like looking up sometimes just like kazoo versions of like anime openings. So there's like Tokyo Ghoul, and looking up the kazoo version of like Unravel from Tokyo Ghoul. I think that's that's really funny to me. I don't know why. It just is. If I eat 2 apples and I have 5 pears, how many oranges did I buy? That's like the math on like state tests. Who would win, Chewbacca versus Predator? Uh, I mean, probably Predator. I don't know though. Chewbacca's actually, well, I haven't seen. Wait. No, I don't think I have seen Predator. Oh my gosh. I should probably watch that someday. All I remember is like the meme coming from it, where it's like the the like hands, um, or like the arms when it's like common interest. Um, but Chewbacca has like super strength, but I'm just guessing that Predator probably would beat Chewbacca because it seems more intense. The short period of my life when I owned a kazoo was perhaps the most annoying of my family. No, it's okay. We all lived that kazoo life when we were younger. I got a 98 out of 100 on my first driver's test. Good job! Yes, I have my driver's license. I can drive. I know, I need to watch. There's a lot of movies I need to watch. It is late. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this stream. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Oh my gosh, these like who would win questions are getting out of hand. I don't really watch horror movies, but I did see Gremlins, and I think the Gremlins are very mischievous. So I'm gonna say that's the answer. Um, all right, but yeah, all of you have a good night. Feel free to watch my silly videos where I voice act memes, or my projects I've been in where I voice act really cool characters. Um, yeah, feel free to watch other streams. Like, I try to be more frequent with doing like drawing streams. I've been playing Armored Core, which is really fun. But yeah, all right. I hope you all have a good night or a good day or evening or morning, wherever you are. Goodbye, all of you. Bye.